So today I'm going to show you the simple recipe to start you off, which is recommended in the Prestige book that comes with the pressure cooker. So what we've got is about 450 grams of peeled potatoes cut into about 25 gram segments, 300 millilitres of water, and obviously got the pressure cooker base and the lid and the weight. These pressure cookers are designed to work on all sorts of rings. So you've got a radiant ring, ceramic hob, gas hob, solid plate, induction, and they're also dishwasher safe. So what I do is to put the pressure cooker base on the hottest ring that we have got on the hob, and I'm now going to put in my 450 grams of peeled potatoes, which are cut into about 25 gram segments. So I suppose in real terms those are probably 5 centimetres, so 40 to 50 millimetres or so. So I'm going to pop those all into the pressure cooker. Now to the pressure cooker I'm going to add 300 millilitres of just ordinary water. We're now going to pop the lid on, and on the handle, you can't very easily see it on the thing, but on this video, but there's a little arrow there in the centre of the handle, and then if you flip the lid over, there's another little arrow which you can probably just see there, just to the left hand side of the handle, and then what you're going to do is line those two arrows up. And with the new pressure cookers, sometimes the rubber seal is quite hard, so sometimes people put a little bit of oil just round, as in, I say, olive oil or just cooking oil, just a little bit of oil around the edge of the rim, just to make it have the rubber seal gasket, to make it go down a bit more easily. With the new pressure cooker, the gaskets, the rubber gasket is quite hard and solid. Pays to put a bit of oil, just cooking oil, around that, just a little smear, just to make it a bit easier. And then what I've found is if you line up the little arrow on the handle, the main handle which is attached to the base, and then line that up with, hopefully you can see that other little arrow there, and bearing in mind that this is not, the heat is not on at the moment, and the pressure cooker is cold, what I'm going to do is just put my hand on the centre there and just push it down. You can just hear the air escaping, and then I'll turn the handle round, the top handle, which is the lid handle, round to the left in a clockwise direction. Then by putting firm pressure on the centre of the lid, on the lid which is on the cold pressure cooker, don't do this if it's hot, just push it down, and then you'll find the rubber gasket goes down more easily, and turn the handle in a clockwise rotation. And then once the handles are nicely aligned like that, you know that hopefully the should all be sealed up. If the lid is still loose, it means that you haven't lined it up properly with the little arrows, and you need to try it again until it's nice and secure. We put our weight on, which gives us our 15 pounds of pressure, and there's a little pointy bit in the centre there which goes into the centre of the vent, and just push that down. It's quite a hard push, so quite a hard push down, but as you see that just can then jump around like that, and that basically allows any excess steam to escape. Turn your hot ring on to high, and then we'll wait for that to come up to heat and steam. Don't leave it on its own, just watch it until it comes up to steam. When it's steaming, you'll hear it starting to hiss out of the top of the pressure cooker. Oven gloves when you're dealing with pressure cookers, because then you don't get burn your hands or scald. But anyway, it's now coming up to heat. You can probably start to hear it boiling away in the bottom there, and just keep an eye on it, and you'll suddenly hear the steam starting to come out of the central vent. You should now hear that just starting to steam up. See the ring is on full, you can see the redness at the bottom, and just give it a few more minutes. And now the steam is starting to get filled up, and the little weight is starting to rattle around a bit. So at that point we turn the cooker down to about, turn the ring, it's an electric cooker, I don't know about gas, don't understand it, but this is an electric cooker, so you turn it down to about 1 or 2, and then it should just there should just be a little bit of a hiss of steam escaping, and that's okay. If there's loads of steam escaping, you're just not cooking efficiently, you're wasting the fluid from the cooker, the pressure cooker, and you're then liable to run it dry. Once it comes to steam, that's the point at which you start the timing. For the potatoes here, we've got a pound or 450 grams of potatoes. We're going to put those on for 4 minutes now. The pressure cooker is up to steam. And then at the end of the 4 minutes cooking time, we then make sure that there's an empty sink, and we put the pressure cooker into the either into the empty bowl in the sink or the sink itself, and pour cold water over the top of the pressure cooker, making sure we try and keep it clear of the vents in the centre. And that's the way you reduce the pressure quickly. Some recipes will suggest that you reduce the pressure slowly, and then all you do there is you just take the pressure cooker off the ring with the lid and the weight still on, pop it on a cold ring, and just let the pressure disappear gradually over a period of minutes. But just follow the instructions in your handbook, or ideally buy yourself a pressure cooker recipe book, which are brilliant, and it tells you all the amounts of liquid you need to put in, the ingredients, etc, etc. And this pound of potatoes we're going to do in 4 minutes of pressurising, and a beef casserole probably takes 25 minutes of pressurised cooking, so a lot quicker than doing it in the oven. The hissing has gone down slightly, so I'm just going to turn the hob up a little bit, so I'm going to pop it on to about 3. It's just a matter of keeping that hissing going, because that shows that the pressure is up to the correct amount. As I say, if you suddenly end up with like loads and loads of pressure and lots of steam coming out, you probably got it set, the hob is set too high. Don't try this at home, but I'll just show you what happens if you just lift the weight slightly. It just shows how the steam does disappear. But don't do that at home, because it might scald you. But just to show you how the steam disappears if the pressure becomes too high. We've got another 2 minutes to go. I will just turn the ring up high, just so you can see what it sounds like if the steam is coming out excessively. So I'm just going to briefly put that on to full, just as a demonstration to show you, hopefully, when there's excess steam coming out. Take a little time to come up to steam. Should suddenly hear a huge amount of steam coming out. Hopefully now you can hear that. So at that point the weight is now rocking about again, so that's too much steam in there, so now I'm going to turn that back down to 2 for the remaining 1 minute of cooking time. That just shows you how the weight keeps the balance of pressure in the cooker. That's just hissing away gently, and now the timer's gone off, so we're going to take the pressure cooker in total with the lid still on and the weight still on. Don't remove the weight because it's still under pressure. And now we're going to put that into the sink and put cold water from the running cold water tap over the lid. Make sure you wear your oven gloves when you're moving the pressure cooker, and hold both the handles, the front handle and the back handle, and just be careful because obviously it's full of boiling hot liquid. And now carefully going to lift that using both handles, pop it in the bowl or the sink. Now I'm going to put cold water over the top of that, just over the lid. Try and keep it away from the vent as best you can. It's easier said than done. And gradually the pressure will come down. You just leave it a few minutes, then the pressure should be down. Now the pressure is coming down. It's making that nasty whining noise because I've probably got a bit of water into the central pressure valve. Now with your oven glove on, you can just check to see whether the steam has come out. If you just put your oven glove on the top and just lift the valve, just the weight, just gently, you've got a little bit of steam coming out, but now all the steam is now out. So now it's safe to undo the lid and look at your magnificent culinary delights. So this time we've cooked potatoes, pounded potatoes in 4 minutes, whereas a lot of people would probably put them on the hob for maybe 20. Now that we're happy that the pressure has been released, it's okay to take the pressure weight off. So it is quite firmly on, so just pull that straight up and off. Put that to one side, and then it's just a matter of opening the lid by holding the two handles and then just pushing the top handle away in an anti-clockwise direction to your right. And when the arrows meet up again, the arrow there and the arrow there, then you should just be able to lift the lid off. And then inside you should have your perfectly cooked potatoes. So if you run a sharp knife through them, as long as the knife goes through easily, then they're cooked. So there we are, there's our pound or 450 grams of potatoes, which have been cooked in the pressure cooker in 4 minutes compared to maybe 15 or 20 on the hob. And as long as the knife goes in, slides in easily, then we know that they're cooked. Actually, some of those are slightly overdone, if anything. But anyway, those are ready to go, so those will make some lovely mashed potato, and rather than waste those, we can make those into mashed potato, following one of my earlier videos. And once it's cool, put it in the freezer and save it for a rainy day. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you've enjoyed this, give it the thumbs up, and please do subscribe, because there's loads of different things we get involved in, from fashion, gardening, landscaping, cooking, anything and everything. Finish cooking, clear your pressure cooker out as soon as possible. Don't leave food in it, and then wash it and dry it carefully, and just make sure that the central vent is nice and clean and that the air can come out easily when you next use it, so then it's ready to rock for the next time you use it. It is very difficult to see on the video probably, but in the handle where it's joined onto the lid, that's what they call the VPI, which is the secondary safety devices underneath that. Once that little top of that drops down, then it means that the pressure is released and you're okay to open the lid. Apparently it takes about 20 seconds or so for the pressure to be released once you pour the cold water over the lid. Try and avoid the putting the water over any of these valves. Easier said than done. but mainly get it over the bits that so it won't go into the valves. Otherwise, it ends up in your cooking potentially. Not sure whether you'll be able to see this on the video, but when the secondary safety device, the VPI, is in the up position, it pokes through the little hole in the handle where the handle joins the lid. Once the steam pressure is off, it'll then drop down like that. Hope that might help a little bit.